Hello, everybody. I'm Justin.
And I'm Nick.
And we
are
fans
football in the zone.
So now that Week 13 has officially begun, you like that ball, right? All right. The Detroit Lions defeated the Green Bay Packers 40-10, and we discussed Thursday.
These games.
Look back on our
back to our video.
Start sits it was in. The Cowboys defeated the Raiders 31-24. The Ravens defeated the Steelers 22-20. The Colts defeated the Titans 22-14, and Andrew Luck going forward. He's kind of been shaky the last few weeks. Do you like him going forward?
He's missing Reggie Wayne a lot. And
right now,
if you think there might be better options depending on the matchup.
The thing is, right now, well, we hope you got into the fantasy players, but not everybody can. But right now, you got to stick with these studs. And Andrew Luck, I mean, I doubt right now you're going to be able to go out and pick up somebody in Andrew Luck's caliber. Yeah, so I think you got to stick with Andrew Luck, and I think you got to start him with confidence.
Unless you have, like, a second guy on your bench, like Rivers, if you drafted him as a 2.
The Jaguars defeated the Browns 32-28, and Browns Josh Gordon. He's been
fire!
He's been an elite wide receiver the last few weeks, and he really been coming on.
Back-to-back games with 200 yards.
He had 261 yards with 2 touchdowns, 10 receptions. The PPR itself, 10 receptions. But then you had 261 yards and 2 touchdowns. Right now, I think he's a top 5 receiver.
I think he's a high-end one up there with Marshall.
Top 5.
Yeah.
The Panthers defeated the Bucks 27-6. The Vikings defeated the Bears 23-20. And again, we're talking receivers. We had a lot of receivers. It all started with Josh Gordon and Alshon Jeffrey. Then it was Eric Decker. I mean, Alshon Jeffrey had two touchdowns, 249 yards, almost 250, and 12 receptions. Again, just the receptions alone is 12 points. And Brandon Marshall is on that team.
Yeah.
Do you worry about Brandon Marshall?
I'm not worried about Brandon Marshall. Josh McCown been spreading the ball.
Well, do you think, Alshon Jeffrey's value is going to decrease with Jay Cutler coming back?
I don't think his value is going to decrease. I still going to think he's going to get his targets. I think there's going to be a fair share.
The Pats defeated the Texans 34-31. And Ben Tate, he had 102 yards with 3 touchdowns. That's a big game. But I think when you start Ben Tate, I think you're chasing points here. And I think I wouldn't start him more than a flex option at best. What do you think?
Maybe if he's playing the Jags for the rest of the season, I don't know. He could be a running back too, but I think he's nothing more than a flex as of now.
The Eagles defeated the Cards 24-21. And this matchup was pretty tough for Nick Foles, but Nick Foles, he had 3 touchdowns. And Nick Foles, he's not turning the ball over in a lot of touchdowns, and that's what you need with your quarterback, and he's been coming on.
I like him better than Andrew Luck.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
The Dolphins defeated the Jets 23-3, and I said on my start set the sleeper defense I liked was the Miami Dolphins. I think whoever plays the Jets, if they're available, unless you have a defense like Seattle or an elite defense, I say you target that.
Teams like the Jets, the Jags, you pick up the D's going up
against
them.
The Jags, we liked Cleveland, but they didn't do too well, so I rather going up against the Jets.
Yeah, but I think they could still be a good defense.
Falcons defeated the Bills 34-31, and we haven't heard this name in a long time, but Roddy White, like we said, it was a wide receiver week in fantasy. He had 10 receptions, 143 yards. Itself, just receptions. Then
that's great.
Receptions, the receiving yards. The Niners defeated the Rams 23-13. The Bengals defeated the Chargers 17-10. And are you disappointed with Rivers this week? Because he did have a lot of yards and 1 touchdown.
It was just 1 week, but I think going forward in the future, he's still a high one option, maybe a mid end.
Broncos defeated the Chiefs 35-28, and the wide receivers again. You keep on hearing these names. Eric Decker, 174 yards, 8 receptions, 4 touchdowns. You can't forget, Julius Thomas may have not played, but they still have Wes Welker, Demaryius Thomas. I don't think he's going to keep this up. I think he just saw a lot of targets.
He broke out.
But I think you got to start him every week. But I think Thomas and Walker will see more targets.
He had 24 points. That's from the 4 touchdowns alone. Adding the PPR.
The Giants defeated the Redskins 24-17. And quick, name me one sleeper you like at the Saints going at Seahawks.
I like Pierre Thomas. He's not much of a sleeper, but I think he's among the two this week. Darren Sproles isn't very healthy, and I think he's going to rush for a lot of
Make
yards.
sure you don't start Percy Harvin because he was expected to play in the beginning of the week, but now he's not going to play. He's doubtful.
Of course, he's on my team.
All right, now we're going to name you some players that for the rest of the season that we think are going to be a boom or a bust.
Boom?
Okay.
Bust.
Okay.
That's how we're going to be doing things.
All right. Now, Ben Tate, we saw he had 3 touchdowns against the Pats. They're going up against Jacksonville. Boom or bust in the fantasy playoffs.
I think he's a boom. I think he's going to get
flex option. I think
he's a little higher than a 2. A flex, which is a 2. Nick Foles going up against Detroit.
He's been so hot, and Detroit scores a lot of points, so he gets a boom. All right, now we have Roddy White. Roddy White had a big week for the first time we heard his name. He's going up against Green Bay. Do you like him this week, boom or bust?
I think he's a bust. I think that was just 1 week.
Okay, and
don't start him.
As Akbar would say,
it's a trap! Okay, how do you like Robert Griffin going up against the Chiefs defense?
The Chiefs defense, they've been struggling as of late. They got a couple turnovers early on Peyton Manning, but you do have to understand they really haven't been getting to the quarterback, but they got to Peyton a couple times, and he has no pass protection. But I mean, like I said, your team is your team right now, and you're gonna have to start him. But maybe if you got lucky, picked up Nick Foles, I'd play Nick Foles over him. That's for sure.
Let's keep moving. How do you like Michael Crabtree versus the Seahawks next week?
Michael Crabtree, I mean, he came back this week. He really didn't do anything major. Seahawks are really tough. We learned that Brandon Bowner is suspended, but they still have Richard Sherman, and I don't like him this week, so it's a bust, and it's a trap!
Marcus Colston versus the Panthers.
The Panthers have been pretty tough, but we all know that the Saints love to pass the ball. But like I said, he's been very inconsistent. I'm giving you a reason to start him and then not start him. I'm sorry about that, but I mean, like we said again,
I think it's a
trap. Bust. As Daniel Bryan says, yes. Bust. With that, we'll cap it all up, and like our video, leave a comment, follow us on Twitter. We really appreciate
that.
Shout outs
are nice, but we're happy with you
what
following
we got.
us.
Thank you for that. We really appreciate it.
And
that's it.